Alright guys, Spain and Germany have just played out a 1-1 draw in a interesting game. It wasn't how I expected it to go. Well, I say that, now it has finished. It's completely how I expected it to go, but it wasn't my prediction pre-game, if that makes sense. But yeah, I just thought, based on how Germany played the other day, I thought when they had their moments, I thought they might be able to get forward, but I thought Spain would dominate this game, which they didn't really do, in all fairness. Germany, they put pressure on Spain and didn't really allow them to control possession and just control the game like they would have wanted to, the Spanish. They were, they made it quite a scrappy game at times, especially in the first half, and stopped Spain from really getting any sort of rhythm. The closest thing to a goal in the first half was Antonio Rudiger's disallowed goal, which I thought was offside the second it went in. I thought the way he ran into the box, he ran in and then sort of stopped himself and then went again. And it was a good header once he got there, but it was sort of his own fault because he just went way too early. And by the time he had sort of stunted his run, he it was already offside. And they eventually got the decision right, but they carried on with play for a good 20 seconds, I'd say. They restarted the game and played on for 20 seconds, which was bizarre to me because it said, VAR said, it's absolutely fine. They showed the replay. He's quite clearly offside because although Laporte's hand is playing him onside with an outstretched arm, it's clear that there's like a good yard nearly a yard where he is offside past, I think it's Laporte's sleeve. And yeah, eventually they got it right, but it was a bizarre, minute or so where they decided to play on because everyone could see it was offside. As well as that, Dani Olmo very unlucky not to score. Brilliant strike early on in the game, and Manuel Neuer didn't do well. He did well to save it, but he definitely nearly, had a bit of a wobble because he didn't get the cleanest contact on it at all. It hit the part of his hand he really wouldn't have wanted it to. So yeah, bit of an awkward moment for him there. But yes, Spain, I'd say, were the better side overall. But if draw wasn't an unfair result. The substitutes did ultimately change the game in the end. It was both of them who scored. Morata opened the scoring for Spain, just as I was complaining about there being too many 0-0s in this tournament. So I might do that a bit more often if there is any games where they're, lacking a goal. But yeah, it was a really well taken finish from Morata. And for a player who gets criticised so often for his, ability to miss quite easy chances, as well as also like being offside and things like that, things that a striker should get correct. He does occasionally produce moments of brilliance, Morata. It's just like not consistent enough, really. But yeah, that's 2-2 off the bench for him, so fair play to him. He's had a good start to this tournament, Alvaro Morata, despite not being in the starting 11. And definitely played better than Ferran Torres when he was on the pitch. It was a brilliantly well taken goal. Jordi Alba again with another assist, still showing that he, can contribute going forwards, even at the age of 33, 34 he must be now. I mean, it was like 10 years ago now since he scored that great goal in the final of Euro 2012 and moved to Barcelona that summer. So he must be knocking on now. But yeah, really good goal. And Germany, they responded with a few substitutions, bringing on players like Füllkrug and also Leroy Sané, and that did make a difference for them. I think it was the fact that they now had, with Leroy Sané coming on, they now had the ability to go down both sides, whereas only really having Serge Gnabry as an out-and-out winger, that meant their only real option if they wanted to get past defenders was going down the right, which would have been the less favourable option because on the left-hand side, so on Spain's right side of defence, you've got Dani Carvajal coming forward, and you've also got Rodri, who isn't really a centre-back, so definitely has an error in him when he's playing out of position. Anyone does it. It's not criticism of Rodri, that it's just anyone, when they're playing in a position they're not used to, can make a mistake in football, especially if they're someone playing defence that doesn't normally play defence. So that would have been the side to target, I think. So when they did bring Leroy Sané on and moved Musiala to the centre and took Gundogan and Thomas Müller off, who were fairly ineffective in the hour and a bit that they were on the pitch, that definitely made a difference. And the goal, Füllkrug took it superbly. I don't know a whole lot about Füllkrug as a player, but fair play to him. He took his goal well, lashed it into the roof of the net from not the easiest angle ever. It was a really good strike. And Germany, they did have a couple of chances even after they scored to win the game potentially. Especially the one where Leroy Sané went through and took it round Unai Simon. That could have gone differently on a different day. But yeah, overall, I think Germany would have probably taken this result going into the final game, because I can't really see Japan beating Spain in that final game. I mean, strange things have already happened this tournament, in Saudi Arabia beating Argentina. That's the main shock of this tournament, as well as Japan beating Germany. But then again, Japan, although they were not amazing today, they should have beaten Costa Rica today with how the game went. In fact, Costa Rica beating Japan, that's a big shock, because Japan aren't an amazing side, or seem to be an amazing side. It's not going to go down as one, really. And also you've got to throw Morocco and Belgium into the equation there. But I think with how poor Belgium have been in their 2 games so far, it's not a massive shock, that, because Morocco are a half-decent side. So I think Saudi Arabia or Argentina's shock of the tournament so far, really, isn't it? But yeah, I think Germany would have taken the draw in this game. It's not in their hands, but you'd expect Spain to beat Japan, and Germany would back themselves to beat Costa Rica, considering how they've played in their first 2 games, but somehow got 3 points today. But yeah, it could also be a case of, with Spain, this was more down to when they were 1-0 up. It could be a case of like some tactical, where do we want to finish in the group, first or second, because Group F is really undecided on how it's going to finish. Obviously Canada are out, but with Morocco and Croatia both on 4 points and Belgium on 3, I don't even know who you'd want to face out of them, because Belgium, as poor as they've been, they've got the players with the ability, Kevin De Bruyne being the obvious name there. And Croatia, they played well today, but were quite poor against Morocco. And it's sort of the same for Morocco as well. They were quite good today against Belgium, but also fairly average against Croatia. But that could just be a one-off, as it is, first game of the tournament. So I don't know who you would want to play out of that group, really. I mean, based on form, it's obviously Belgium, but yeah, interesting one. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. It's been a decent World Cup so far. I wouldn't say it's been my favourite one, but I'm still enjoying it. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.